streaming, and it should be public, I think. So
Right.
it'll be on delay. So don't expect that it'll match up with
Yeah, it says it's
what we're
starting.
doing.
It says it's starting over here. Says it's starting over here.
Yeah, look at Mr. I'm starting over here. All right, I'm just starting up Audition, getting ready to
So you're actually going to start recording?
Yeah,
Okay.
have you got the intro sound ready to go?
Yeah, the intro sounds ready to go.
Output device. No, I want the input device.
Yeah,
Just do a quick test.
I've got it on delay over here.
Okay, I think, yes, we are recording.
Yep, recording now.
Yeah, so after all this technical setup, I can't remember what we were supposed to talk about, but let's just fire it up and see what happens.
See what happens.
I find I can ruin this audio way better now. Like, it's really cutting through.
I can just hear you. I can't even hear the music.
It's awesome.
Totally ruined once again.
That is fantastically ruined. I loved it.
You ruined it to perfection. Welcome
Absolutely.
to the 1240 Hangover Cure Podcast, everyone.
Oh, thanks, Rodders. Oh, you were welcoming the... Sorry.
I was welcoming,
any listeners
the
we
greater
might have.
public that isn't probably watching.
Sorry, I just forgot how this works.
But shut up.
Yeah, I'll
so
try.
I can finish the intro. I'm Rodders, and over there
I'm Harv.
is Harv, as he said. So we're back again, and we're live streaming on YouTube.
My
as well.
headphones nearly fell off.
And we got a bunch of new shit.
We have had a studio upgrade.
Very much so. An upgrade.
Give us a quick rundown of the new equipment, Rodders.
Look, it's just it's a big multi-track style mixer that we're all plugged into. Got all their stuff plugged into it, and groovy. It's pretty groovy.
It's pretty groovy. I've got a new mic, so if I sound even more sexy than ever before,
You sound
you'll know why.
You sound a lot stronger with that microphone.
I like it.
Yeah, your
I like
voice does.
Hard as a rock right now.
It doesn't do anything for you physically.
No, it just
Doesn't
blocks
make
my
you
face, and people will wonder, has he still got a beard? Has he not? On the live stream, that is.
I don't think anyone cares.
If we are live streaming, which we believe we are.
I think we are.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
great.
It just looks like you're talking behind a big black box.
Yeah,
pretty much.
which is essentially what's happening. Yeah, give or take.
So episode 22, and we don't really... What are we doing?
What are we doing?
gonna
What are we
talk-
talking about?
We're going to talk about...
You are fake news.
We're going to
Yeah.
talk about any of that.
We did have a bit of the fake news ready to go.
Well, that was... I noticed you had something in there.
Well, yeah,
For
sorry,
that.
that might happen a few times. Yeah, look, there was a thing, you know Project Veritas, Rodders? Are you familiar with their work?
Only since you put the link in the...
Okay, so you didn't see the
Link.
previous videos they did? They did a lot of stuff on the DNC during the election.
No, I didn't see any of that. No.
They really put out like a lot of really damning stuff about the Hillary Clinton campaign, and
Right.
they secretly recorded a lot of the campaign staffers talking about the stuff that they were doing and how they were bussing people in for voting and voting corruption, all that stuff. It was amazing work. Like, it was fantastic channel, and I thought, oh well, they're
So
done now.
did they publish shit themselves, or did they just...
They did. So they went undercover. They had no channel. They had no affiliation. They'd never published anything before.
Yeah.
I'd never seen the guy before. I don't know where he came from. And then they had all these conversations, and they applied for jobs, and they took people out to lunch, and they did all these things, recorded all the conversations. Yeah.
Wined and dined them.
And they found all these evil cunts, talking openly about the stuff that they were doing. And
Why would you talk about it just with someone who...
well, they got them to trust them. I don't know how, because I guess behind the scenes, whatever they're
Maybe
doing,
they
they're
knew
not
some
gonna-
neuro-linguistic programming and
Possibly.
they used that on them.
Maybe they were all mentalists.
And that's how they
Could be.
suck the information out of their brains.
So I thought they were done after all that, because I figured, well, no, everybody knows his face now, right? This guy who did
Yeah.
it. But I think what they've done is they've got some new people to go out and do the field work. The guy's just the presenter now, the main guy. Or maybe he was always just the presenter. I'm not sure. But anyway, they're still operating, and they managed to go and get a
Who's the
CNN
guy?
producer.
He's a producer at CNN,
Yeah. To basically admit that the entire Russia hacked the election narrative is
Bullshit.
completely unsupported. Yeah. Well, he doesn't say it is bullshit. He says it might be bullshit. We wouldn't know because we don't care. We just like,
we need ratings.
He just says it's for the ratings. So I'll play quickly the little clip of what he said, and we can
go for it.
Honestly, you think the whole Russia shit is just like bullshit?
Could be bullshit. I mean, it's mostly bullshit right now. Like,
Nice.
we don't have any big giant proof. I just feel like they don't really have it, but they want to keep digging.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the president is probably right to say, like, look, you are witch hunting me. Like,
So he's saying basically that Trump is correct to be saying you are fake news to our sample.
You are fake news.
He's saying, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what we're doing.
It's pretty much what we're engaged in at the moment is completely fake. It's got no very little or no basis.
That's right.
And they're just doing it because it's a popular thing to put on the tally so that people still get in front of it and watch it.
Well, he says it's for ratings. That doesn't necessarily mean there's not something a little bit more nefarious at play here. That the establishment isn't saying, the ratings, when in reality their reason for pretending that gets them ratings is that they actually want to discredit Trump or whatever it is.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it all.
What's the plan for Trump, do you reckon? What are they planning for him?
Yeah, I don't know. Assassination? I'm not kidding. I think
he's had his hands on the orb.
Yeah, is that Lord of the Rings?
That was when he was in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, the actual orb.
The one that the Simpsons
I was thinking of the one
predicted.
that Gandalf has. The orb of something
I don't
or
know
other.
any
I don't
Lord
know.
of the Rings.
The order of the orb of I don't give a fuck. I believe it was called.
The orb of fucking complete bullshit.
Yeah, the orb of this is a piece of shit.
The orb
movie.
that's really assist on the lighting of my.
Put your hands on the orb, my son. No, let's not go there.
Massage the orb.
Yeah, you want to get right up in there. That's it. That's not good. So yeah, I was just really interested because, like, even faced with actual video evidence of someone saying essentially we are fake news, CNN is faking the news.
Well, that's pretty big. I thought
people are not having their eyes open.
When I watched that, I thought that was pretty big. He's just in there going, well, we don't really know.
Yeah.
We don't really know how much basis this stuff has. It's likely bullshit.
Well, exactly. And I posted it on Facebook, right? And I don't have a huge, it's just my family and friends on there. I have a lot of people on there. How many likes? 1 from Rodders. I don't even know if you gave me a like, did you? It might have been 0. I'm not sure.
What was it a post about?
That particular video that we just played.
Oh, okay.
I just said, and I said something like,
I don't know if that's how I saw it originally.
if you still don't believe in fake news, here's the fake news telling you exactly what they're doing. Yeah, it was just you.
I watched it.
There might have been one other, but basically, no one's interested. No one wants to hear it. It's very strange to me.
It's kind of just accepted that, it's fake, so what?
Yeah.
We all knew that the news was fake anyway.
Yeah, well...
Just apathy, man.
What's with that? How do they generate that apathy? It's amazing to me. Like, you can get people to go, oh, well, it's not like we ever had privacy. I might as well just wank off on a webcam now because, the NSA's already got that footage.
Yeah.
And they're like, they just accept it. It's like, even though we learnt it a little bit late to prevent it, doesn't mean...
The PSYOP's working. The PSYOP is working. That's all I can get from it is that... If they're pushing a particular, like they want people to, behave in a certain way, it's fucking working because people are really just walking around quite blindly a lot of the time. Yeah, in my experience.
Yeah, well,
and not paying attention to what's the fuck's going on around them, just in
and
their
at the
immediate
same time,
vicinity.
At the same time, we're asked to believe that the people in control are actually incompetent enough to be setting everything on the wrong path and always making mistakes. Yeah. Yet they're so smart that they can somehow manipulate people scientifically into accepting a particular fate. I mean, there's obvious science behind what happens and how the media works and all that. Yeah. I would say. I mean, it just seems to me very scientifically done. And the principles are all there and they're all consistent. The repetition and the constant reinforcement and the appeals to authority and all that stuff that they use all the time.
Yep.
It's so consistent that maybe it's just habit, but to me it just seems really, really deliberate and planned.
Well, that's probably because it is.
I would imagine so. I
Yeah.
would imagine so.
Yeah.
That's all I can do is imagine. It's not like I'm getting into the inner circle. Although,
All right, John Lennon.
I did have that. I think they're all insane. But yeah, you and I have a chore that we really should be doing, and we've been putting it off. But we've been living here for 6 months now. I don't know how many rents have we paid. 6.
It's been longer than 6
Something
months.
like that. Yeah. It's
This year has been gone on.
we're on the
6
downward
months.
slide of the year. Yeah. So, well, that's true. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about 10.
Okay. So we're getting pretty close to it.
Getting close. To
Getting
the
kicked
12,
out.
12 months.
Yeah, once our lease is up. But we can wander down. We're a 15-minute walk from the Pakenham Masonic Centre.
Yeah.
That's
right. Yeah.
If we want to get into the inner circle, Rodders, if we want to get the inside story, is there any other way to do it than joining, the Freemasons, or possibly Rotary? Rotary might work.
Yeah, I don't even know if you get much in that context anyway. Like, sure, you could join up.
As long as you toe the line, I think
ask the questions.
rise up through the ranks. I think we could get there in 3-4 years.
We'd need to be patient. We need to be,
There'd be some
act
patience.
genuinely interested.
I'm inspired by Project Veritas, though. Let's go in. Let's get some tiny little cameras and
Yeah.
you
See what we can dig up.
bust it wide open.
Bust
be-
open the Masonic centers.
It's probably not wise to be saying it on the podcast because obviously that.
We are planning to overthrow all.
Beware, Freemasons, but you don't know what we look like. And trust me, I don't sound anything like this without the microphone.
No, we're just completely different looking individuals.
Well, we'll just disguise ourselves. We'll keep that disguise consistent for 4 years. Yeah, like I'll put
Wigs.
on a bushy mustache.
Some wigs. And sunglasses.
Yeah, some sunglasses would be good.
Incognito.
I think so.
I think that'd be
I think it should.
very
It
inconspicuous.
should work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd look for an upcoming podcast episode in 4 to 5 years' time.
Imagine if we...
Excuse me.
Yeah, if we did a Luke Rudkowski style video inside the Masonic centers.
That'd be awesome.
See, confrontations inside the Masonic centers.
I don't know. Maybe it's better just to read stuff and to listen carefully.
Yeah, maybe
And
just...
you can actually
don't
learn
storm
about...
in there with a camera
Yeah.
and go...
You can actually learn about
go-
the agenda. You can
Tell me about Obama.
But you could just reverse engineer it from what's happening, right? I mean, there's a certain degree of
Should be able to.
faith or whatever that you need to say, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what's happening, and just to say, okay, I'm making some assumptions, but they're reasonable. But I think you can reverse engineer what the agenda is really easily. Once you make an assumption there is one, and that it's somehow deliberate, at least a little bit deliberate,
Yeah.
and consistent,
Planned.
yeah, and that comes from the top. I think you can pretty much work out what it should be. We got anything on the?
There's nothing on the live chat.
On the live? There's someone watching.
Usually-
Does that include you and me? There's 2 people watching. I guess that's us.
It's probably just us, I'd say.
We look good though, don't you think?
Yeah.
A little bit pink.
That's all right, though.
Yeah,
That's what humans look like.
yeah.
They're a
All
little
right,
bit
should
pink.
we play this? Because I mean, talking about reverse engineering the elite agenda is kind of in theme for all of the stuff that we've got queued up to talk about today.
The
So
Steve-O thing, you think?
no, I was thinking the Steve-O thing would be the next piece of media play.
The little clip that we
So
have.
I'm getting all distracted with all this technology around me. It's really tough.
Get over it, Harvey.
It's hard. Then I've got to switch.
Yeah,
screens
you
up.
told us it was hard. We don't need to keep hearing about it. Okay?
Just know I'm working hard here, and it's difficult.
Yeah, have a round of applause.
And appreciate the effort. So
What are you, my father?
this comes from a very I would say unexpected source, but it was a very interesting video to me, very out of character for this guy.
What happened to him? He had all those
I don't know.
blisters on his arms.
I don't know. Well, he has not revealed that. But anyway, this is Steve-O from who got famous doing Jackass. And you have to say that with an American accent when you're talking about it. It has to be
Yeah, I
jackass.
know.
It
Yeah.
can't be jackass.
You can't say jackass.
Jackass.
That's a different...
Jackass.
What's that
Doesn't work.
jackass?
Stop acting like a jackass.
Don't be a jackass.
Rodders. So it's jackass because it
it's
doesn't sound
America.
American. I don't know
It's
what
America,
that is.
that's why.
Speaking of accents, It's a bit of an aside, but I just watched a movie last night, all Australian actors, set in New York, and they're all speaking with American accents.
Yep.
And they were all Australian, I think, except
Did they
for maybe
nail
the main guy.
all the accents?
What's her
slip up at all?
name? What's that actress?
No,
that
I
Australian
don't know.
actress that's in everything. She was in Lantana. She was the wife in Lantana. What's her name?
I'm just thinking Kate Blanchett. That's
No,
not her, though.
no. She's not big in America. She's just one of the Australian. Kerry Kerry. Something. Anyway, let's not worry about that because that's going to take too long.
The actress, yeah.
She did not nail her accent at all. She sounded absolutely
Terrible.
ridiculous. Yeah, I don't even think she spent any time practicing.
How did she get work if that's usually all you have to do if you're Australian, right?
Well, she's an extremely famous Australian.
Nail
Like, she's
down
in
the-
everything. She is in everything.
Nail down the American
Yeah.
slang.
No, she's a
accent.
very well-respected actress. She just didn't do the accent very well. So maybe next time. Anyway, let's get back to Steve-O because he could speak American properly.
Well, yeah, he speaks very, very well.
Very fluent American.
He's very eloquent, and
Anyway, so
he's got a bit to say about God and religion, and
well, he's obviously, like you said, he's getting these burns treated. So he's obviously done some stupid stunt and gotten extremely badly hurt.
yeah,
And we're talking like massive pockets of pus and welts all over his body, some on his face.
massive. Yeah,
It's just disgusting. I mean, I've never seen burns like this on a human being that, survived and is still able to talk.
nevertheless, he's still there.
So I would say it's quite possible he's quite heavily medicated at this point. But it's funny to hear what he chooses to talk about.
Yeah.
And then he put it on YouTube. So obviously he's happy with what he said, I guess.
All right. Well, you play the clip, and then
Well, we've got 2 clips, so I'll play the first one.
Yep.
And so that's where we are, is the radio, and like the soul is the signal, and basically all this human body is like a fucking car that a spirit built to fucking drive around and have an experience, and so it's basically like life is a video game. And think about video games, man. You don't fucking cruise through a fucking video game and it's a cakewalk. That gets boring as fuck. People who are diehard video game players, they want a fucking difficult video game. I didn't used to be able to understand why are some people beautiful and other people are not beautiful. How's that fair?
Yeah.
As spirits, we want to take on some fucking
is one of the ones
challenges,
who's
man.
not beautiful.
All it is a
he's
video game.
he's rambling
The
a little
fucking
bit
material
here.
world doesn't even exist.
The material world doesn't even exist. So yeah, I mean, he starts
funny
going
the
on
way
this
he says that.
spiritual rant.
It's funny the way he says that.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a weird.
Material world doesn't even exist.
Yeah, he sounds like a little kid, like taunting another kid.
Yeah.
But I just found it really interesting because from the point of view that everything that I've looked into, and I really haven't spent a lot of time looking into this, but I did mention it in a couple of the popcorn lobotomy videos and so on, that there's this supposed religion or belief system that the Illuminati subscribe to, or that the elites are supposed to subscribe to. And I know people say, oh, it's Satanism or Luciferianism or whatever. I think it is. I think this is
That
the
is what it
Luciferian
is.
doctrine, essentially.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's the idea that that all organisms, all sentient beings in the universe, I guess, or this planet, I don't know if they've limited it to the planet. I don't think they do.
no, it's universe.
Yeah, is basically God getting bored, splitting up his consciousness into infinite
Amounts
beings,
of pieces.
yeah, infinite beings and dimensions and so on. And so everybody is basically a small piece of this God consciousness, just recording an experience
Yeah.
in order to understand itself. So to see what it does in certain situations or whatever, I'm not really sure exactly how that works, but then gathering data.
Yeah, to learn everything there is to learn.
Yeah, and have every experience there is.
About yourself and everything else.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's because if you, in this story, this belief system, I think there's God and there's Lucifer, and Lucifer basically challenges God and says you should give these beings their the knowledge and give them self-awareness and so on, and let them, let them actually have a real experience rather than be under your control and whatever. And it's kind of like an interesting idea. I said in the video, I think it's kind of a beautiful idea, that we're all little bits of God consciousness running around having experiences.
Well, it is, yeah. It kind of works, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that everybody's an important piece of that, no matter what experience
It's
you're
pretty
having.
fair to everyone.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
even.
it?
It's a nice even-handed
Yeah.
approach. Although some people, as Steve-O pointed out in this video. Some people are little girls dying of cancer.
Yeah.
And that's hard to take. You know, it's hard to say, well, that's happening for a reason.
Well, he's saying that's
knowledge too.
He's saying that's why the belief that everything happens for a reason angers some people.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
they've had that sort of experience. And they go, oh, well, you tell me that, you know, a 5-year-old girl with cancer is fair.
Yeah.
How is that life is beautiful?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
beautiful is life then?
Well, this guy was a what was he, a cancer treatment specialist or something? And he's basically saying, well, you know, live in my world and you tell me everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
Because this is fucked. So he does go on, and he gives us some little pearls of wisdom, I guess you could call it. He boils it all down for us.
Yeah. There's a few nuggets in there.
A few nuggets, yeah. Well, the video itself is one of the main nuggets. But I'll play you a clip and we can talk over it.
We're fucking designed to have individual needs, but the fucking connection with the universe is based on helping other people. And so you gotta not be a dick. You gotta help other people.
Don't be a dick.
The third part that fucks the most people up is you gotta fucking believe. Now, the word God, it bumps people out a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't even really like to use it. I just say the universe. But brother, there are so many fucking more dimensions that we just don't understand.
Whatever he is talking about there, I believe he was going to say faith in God, and then decided not to, and never got to point 3.
Probably
but I think
not.
Point 3, I think we can take as written as faith. Faith in...
Explaining what faith is, right?
Yeah. Well, he starts over-explaining it because he's scared to say God for some reason.
Well, he's saying that, God puts people off using the word God.
Yeah, which, well, maybe it does, but, you know, if that's what he believes, he should just say that. It's not like the rest of the stuff, isn't it?
Well, he's probably fucked.
Fairly edgy.
He's probably fairly fucked in the brain.
Well, as I said, I think he might be heavily medicated.
So that could be affecting how he articulates things as well. To some extent, I would say.
Yeah. It's interesting reading the comments because he's 100% correct in that, you know, people are really quite intolerant of his little rant.
The comments section is, he says it's like a cesspool of humanity or something, doesn't it?
However, interestingly, he does talk about that, and he says, leave your fucking comments and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm not going to read them anyway.
He's kind of taunted people to do it. Yeah. The ones that have risen to the top since I last looked at this video, though, you know, due to, I assume, getting a lot of likes, the positive ones. So I think people much rather read positive comments than negative ones.
Yeah.
But you don't have to scroll down far to get to the negative ones.
No.
So
there's always negative ones in there. I mean, they could be just trolls or you know, do you reckon that's there's an agenda to do that? Like there's agents actually on the internet just deliberately putting negative shit? It's
a good question. Are there actually... I mean, do we believe in disinformation agents? I think we probably do.
We've covered that fairly heavily.
Yeah, but do we believe in actual paid shills on comment sections? Do we believe that...
We weren't that specific, I don't think.
That the hand reaches down that low? It's something I've actually
but I've always
thought about a lot.
Yeah, I've always had that idea thinking that that's completely plausible, that...
Yeah,
you would have that going on just to keep the negativity flowing all through the internet.
I looked quite extensively for first-hand accounts of people being a paid shill, and of course you're not going to get a lot because they wouldn't admit if they were, right? Obviously, it's a pretty shameful thing. You're basically a snitch. You're basically selling out your fellow man.
It's not an attractive thing to have on your resume.
You might regret it, but you're not going to immediately go and tell your mum what you did or whatever. Like you're not going to go.
Something you're ultimately proud of.
Yeah, but however, I did find a few. I found one in particular that was they were apparently paid to post on Above Top Secret forum. I don't know if you've ever been on there.
No.
They talk about pretty much everything, a lot of UFO stuff and whatever.
Right.
A lot of David Icke stuff, and you know, there's no topic that they won't touch. So, and he said, he was paid to post disinformation on Above Top Secret. He got particular topics that he was supposed to post about. They gave him advice on how to counter arguments.
So this person admitted to being a shill basically online.
And the reason that I thought this account...
Deliberately negative comment.
That's right. And the reason I thought it was a fairly accurate account is he had good reasons for wanting to admit it. You know, he basically realized the errors of his ways and wanted to correct them and whatever, which I thought was probably, you know, pretty decent motivation. But again, it begs the question, why are more people not? Because you would have to have thousands of them. You'd have to have an army of them, right?
Well, for that sort of thing to be effective, yeah.
Yeah, for paid shills. I mean,
Yeah.
you would need thousands. So
Yep.
for only a couple of accounts, you know, I don't know. It's not enough.
It's not enough, you know, rock solid proof.
No, it's not. But
100% proof.
I do still instinctively believe that probably does go on. You know, that there's some little, you know, like shell company of George Soros or something that he can use for these sorts of things. You know,
More than likely.
I just think of myself in that position.
More than likely.
And it's a tool that you would think of utilizing, and it would be fairly cheap. You just get,
if you're out there leaving all this negative shit on YouTube videos,
yeah,
then
unless it's
you're about as noble as a George Soros employee.
Well, it's not negative shit. I actually don't worry about the negative shit. I think, you know, that's sort of karma that'll come back to people.
Cynical stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. People want to be cynical. Let them be cynical. It's they're
going to be anyway.
Yeah.
No matter what you're
we're not going to change it. But the deliberate disinformation, like actually putting out
that's
bad information.
That's pretty sinister.
I think that affects humanity more than people realize.
Yeah.
Like not knowing the truth and being confused about things
carries more weight for sure.
Puts us into a really sort of dangerous and non-evolutionary state. You know, you've talked about that before, that we can't evolve if we're in fear. And confusion's, I think, a version of fear.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's, you know, an emotion that's born out of fear, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Fear of not knowing what's going to happen, not being able to you know, predict with any certainty what's going to happen.
Yeah, you got to know who the enemy is or what you're fighting or what you know. How can you believe in anything if you can't tell what truth is?
I'm not sure whether we said this before, but when we first sort of came across a lot of this information, it was so confronting and everything. It was like something I wanted to avoid. I did not want to get into it because, you know, it was kind of scary. But then I found, you know, the more that I found out, the more of a comfort it was.
Yeah.
Because at least you're aware of this shit.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean,
and you're open to the possibility it could be going on. You're not, you know, I'm not a staunch believer in every conspiracy theory I've ever read. That's for sure.
No, but you're certainly more open to them than most people I know. That's for sure.
Probably. Yeah. I
mean, it's just a matter of, you know, I've always said this, and I think it's really important that belief should always be a grey area. Like, yeah, believe it, but always be open to some new knowledge or some new evidence or facts or whatever, because otherwise you're just a closed off person. You can't.
That's right.
You can't continue. I mean,
well, it's like deciding not to learn, right?
It's exactly that. Yeah, and that's a poor decision in my opinion.
It's lame.
You should decide to always be learning and always be ready to be corrected about things.
Yeah, don't worry about being wrong, because that's a limiting thing as well.
That's right. I mean, it's very hard to do. Don't get me wrong. I don't say it like it should be a simple task, but it's worth doing. It's worth trying.
Worthwhile.
Yes, it's a noble cause.
Decent.
What is he doing before he says that?
I don't know. It doesn't sound good, does it?
It doesn't sound good at all. I doubt it's anything that we're thinking, though.
Nah.
Knowing Bubbles?
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, it's not nothing sexual.
Nothing below the belt.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not Bubbles.
That. That's not him.
Not Bubbles. Not unless he was paying for it.
He's innocent. Not unless he was around a lot of cats.
Hey, Steve-O's worst injury revealed. Maybe there is an answer to that, how he got burnt.
Well, yeah, there probably is. I didn't watch any more after just that one.
We
got something else. We got something else, right?
Yeah, we got some other stuff. Well, I actually wanted to queue up that True Stream Media video. I heard you watching that, I think, last night. Were you awake when that was playing?
Yeah.
I wanted to play that, so I'm going to queue that up at some point in a sec. But
I've watched a lot of the videos, though, in the last few weeks. So.
But I actually thought this Lee Camp thing was a really interesting little nugget. And, I'm not
You don't like Lee Camp that much.
I'm not a big fan. I don't find him funny. I think he's actually like Popcorn Lobotomy. I think the same mistake I'm making is just ranting and yelling and forgetting to be funny quite a lot of the time.
Right.
Like actually not being witty enough to justify it.
Yeah. He has a kind of cynical style of comedy.
He does.
Very sarcastic.
And I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it comes from the heart to me. But this one kind of did a little bit more than usual. I think maybe he's just quoting someone else. I don't know.
Maybe
he's
that's
probably
what
just
it
quoting
is.
someone else.
Maybe that's what it is.
But anyway, it was an interview with Peter Joseph, who's someone that we're always interested in.
Oh, PJ.
And it was a very good interview. I can highly recommend actually checking out the interview. But there was just this little bit I just want to play, and then we can talk about what the fuck it means.
All right.
And with the jobs disappearing, people are suffering when in fact that should be a good thing, where people have more time, they make the same amount of money or whatever, if we're still in a money system. But it should be a good thing. The analogy that I try and use to explain to people is like, it's basically like we're all hamsters on treadmills, and they're slowly taking away the treadmills, and so the hamsters start beating the crap out of each other to try and get what's left. And then politicians come along and they say one of two things. They say either I'll bring back the treadmills and we go, yay! Or they say we'll make the treadmills go faster and we say, yay!
Exactly.
And no one says, why are we running on the treadmills?
Exactly. And then the identity.
Shut up, Peter Joseph. I love everything he says, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but that's not why I was
for the purposes
playing that.
of the podcast, he can shut up.
Yeah, he could just shut the fuck up right now. Zip it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lee Camp says we're hamsters on a treadmill.
Yeah, well, he's basically... Well, if you don't know Peter Joseph's main point, it is basically that we should transition out of a money system and that we should stop the entire concept of working for money.
Yeah, he believes that system holds us back from evolving.
Yeah, he says that system served us well and built all of the cities that we have and all the technology we have, and now it's lost its relevance and it's holding us back.
Yeah,
and he cites things like planned obsolescence and things, practices like that happen as
technological unemployment and that type.
Yeah, and he says and so Lee Camp's responding to that, saying that technological unemployment is actually a good thing. People don't need to work anymore. That should be good. People don't like working, and yet somehow every time there's an unemployment rate increase, everybody's screaming from the rooftops, bring back the jobs.
Yeah.
And the irony of that people hate their jobs, but when it goes away, they're
complaining that they're not there.
Now, of course, not having money is the main reason. It's
that's
not the not having the job.
Yeah, that's the motivating.
But Peter Joseph is basically saying that if we adopted this new sort of, is it a philosophy? I guess.
Well, yeah, it
economic system.
Kind of is.
Yeah, that we wouldn't need money, so we wouldn't need jobs.
Yeah, he's just saying get rid of money, basically.
Yeah,
I don't know what he doesn't have anything hardcore. He wants to, he thinks more. We should go back to a bartering system. He doesn't really think that, does he?
No, he doesn't think that. He actually he's got a very contentious idea of how the future should be. He basically thinks
we shouldn't own anything, right? He thinks we shouldn't own anything.
Nobody owns anything. Property rights are gone. Everything's gone.
Yeah.
And basically, we would build computer systems to make all the decisions.
That's right. To improve efficiency.
So the computer system would take a survey of the entire planet's resources, useful resources, and would allocate them evenly amongst the entire population. So,
based on human need.
Based on human need. And it would also be an access economy in the sense that you would not own anything. So if you need a video camera to shoot a YouTube video, it'll be at your house in 10 minutes, but you send it back, and then someone else is using it when you're not.
Yeah,
and that there would be very efficient delivery systems to get these things to people.
You'd have a place to live essentially, but say you
get a pod.
Yeah,
if you're Star Trek pod,
if you're no, I was just going to say, but I think he sort of is of the belief that if you were, say, a single person, you wouldn't need as big a living area, so you might get assigned something a bit
that's
smaller.
Right.
And if you've got a big family, you get assigned somewhere bigger, because
if you're a man, you probably won't have a kitchen because men can't cook.
No, well,
it'd just be a small wanking room, like an annex.
Yeah, a wanking room,
a wanking annex,
but no kitchen.
A masturbation annex.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what you'd get. Basically,
a bat cave.
Because the computer would make that choice for you.
You put on your Batman outfit.
Although, one of the concerns that I always have about this futuristic world
Batman
is how do we get our porn in this? Like, let's say nobody's motivated by money
What do you mean,
anymore.
how do you get your porn?
How do you get your porn? Where's the porn going to come from?
It's freely available like everything else.
No, you need actors who are willing participants. If they're not motivated by money, why would they be doing porn?
Isn't there enough porn out there that you can just...
Yes, we've got a stockpile.
Recycle quite a bit of it.
We've got quite a stockpile. I mean, I tend to watch the same stuff over and over again anyway, because there's so little quality stuff out there.
There's a lot of bad quality. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't suit my tastes. And I'm not saying I've got
your
weird
concern. No,
proclivities,
let's go back to your concern about how it's going to be produced.
How do we get new porn?
How do we get new porn?
Why are girls going to go and have sex on camera? Like, we know the guys still will want to do it.
Some people just like showing off. So
exhibitionists, you think?
So they'll just do it from home.
Just because they're bored?
Just stream it. Just go, hey, check us having sex, everyone.
Well, there'll be a lot of, hidden... There'll be a lot of, like, webcam porn. Because there'll be, like, cam-to-cam stuff, and then you do your little screen capture thing, and then your girlfriend pisses you off, and you send it out.
Yeah.
There'll be that. That would still happen.
That would still happen a lot,
I think so. maybe Peter...
occurrence.
I would actually ask Peter Joseph about this if we could get him on the show. I would. I would be like...
honestly answer it?
Honestly, love everything you're talking about. Love this future society. Where am I going to get my porn? I want to know how the porn gets made. I would be interested to hear what he would say, because he might have thought about this himself just secretly. Like, he looks like he'd be a bit of a porn fiend.
It wouldn't be. There'd be nothing... It'd be looked on more... favourably in this type of future, do you reckon?
Would it? I don't know.
Would it be more out of favour with society, therefore more,
Well, why is porn considered
underground?
What do you think is the root of why porn is considered like a bad thing now?
The root of it.
Well, where does it come from? I mean, it's morals, right? So it's religious.
It's people
morals.
Objectifying other people to self-gratify themselves. That's not a...
Well, you can't self-gratify someone else.
No, that's only the self, as far as I know.
I don't know. I don't know what the root reason for it is. Maybe it's because it's sex. It's spilt semen without procreation. Is that religion doesn't like that, right? Generally,
why?
That's why they don't like, gay sex.
They just don't like messy carpets.
I mean, I'm guessing. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, they don't like messy carpets. They don't like tissue in the toilet.
That's the fundamental. That's the fundamental cornerstone of any religion. Is they don't like messy carpets.
Messy carpets. Just keep the carpets clean.
Wasted bodily fluids.
That's right.
Not to be wasted.
Well, it is. It's every sperm is sacred, right? Like that Monty Python sketch.
I don't know about you, but I can I can produce this stuff.
Oh, I do it in my sleep.
Without even thinking.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it now.
It's just...
There's one.
It's there.
There's a couple of million.
It's there. Well, this has gone down to quite a seedy turn, hasn't it?
It is a bit seedy. Yeah, I did. It's very clever. Yeah, love it.
That's why you wait 38 minutes into the podcast for lines.
Yeah, you don't want to launch it too early.
Lines like that.
Yeah, you want to have things that people are waiting for.
Maybe some people will download this video.
Yeah.
And then seed it.
If it was on a torrent, yeah. If it's on BitChute, if we put it up on BitChute,
let's talk about BitChute again, because BitChute's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, what else have we got to say about it?
Other than that, it's brilliant.
Well, it's good for sexual innuendos.
Yeah. If you need a tie-in with seeding.
Have you ever watched a BitChute video yet?
I watched one, I think.
What, the one that was embedded in the...
Our one?
Our one. All right.
I think that's the one I've watched.
Well, that's good. It's a step forward, I mean,
but I still go to YouTube for...
So do I, yeah. But
I don't know that my things that I watch on YouTube exist on BitChute.
Well, all the Corbett Report stuff does. Media Monarchy
I should be watching that stuff via...
Dan Dix is on there.
Sure.
What are they called? News Bud's on there. So
yeah.
I tend to go there when I'm feeling serious, like when I want my serious stuff.
Serious news.
Yeah, that's why I thought they weren't letting us on there. That's why I was surprised, because you actually have to apply, and then they look at your channel on YouTube and they decide.
They think we're not serious?
Well, we're not very serious.
Not always.
Yeah. Not always. No, we're semi-serious, I guess.
We get serious.
I was
thinking
thinking
a little
more
deep.
I was thinking more popcorn lobotomy, though. If you just looked at that.
Yeah.
That was the first one I tried to put on there, and I thought,
serious.
it's going to get rejected, because I'm no James Corbett.
No,
I mean...
certainly not.
And I'm no Dan Dix.
You're not breaking any new ground.
Yeah, and I'm no James Evan Pilato.
No. You're none of these people.
In fact, if you divided each one of those people by the other, I would still not equal the result of that.
No.
So James Corbett divided by James Evan Pilato divided by Dan Dix is still greater than me.
I just imagine them as those dolls that go inside each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. The Russian dolls that hacked the election.
Yeah, those dirty Russians.
Oh, God.
When will they go away?
Is there any... Did you know Trump went and talked to Putin, and Putin said, by the way, we didn't hack your election. So he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That would have been a long conversation.
And there was, I think something that James Corbett highlighted as well was that, was it a press statement by Sean Spicer or whatever that said, if you hear about another attack on Syria, chemical attack, it's definitely the Assad government that's behind it.
I mean, that's not even fake news. That's something that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
that's
didn't allow any questions. No questions.
Nonsensical news.
No questions.
Yeah, it's like if there is another chemical attack on Syria, on innocent people in Syria,
it's definitely
Assad
of the Assad regime.
Yeah. Because that makes sense. Because somehow, speaking of having your hand on the orb,
that goddamn orb.
I mean, for fuck's sake, how can they even say that with a straight face? It's amazing.
That's the sort of propaganda we're dealing with.
Yeah, it is. But the good thing is that it set off a lot of the alternative media into saying they're planning another chemical attack on Syria. Alert, alert, alert.
There it is.
And of course, that's probably going to make it not happen. So,
and then, I think someone else from Washington came out and said, "Oh, well, it's because we said that. We scared them into not doing it."
Yeah,
by
exactly.
Doing that, by saying that.
Well, you're heroes.
It's like, oh my God, you've learned every which way to spin this shit, haven't you?
Yeah, it's
every fucking which way.
Yeah, but then again, the conspiracy community, the alternative media, can spin it as well and say, well,
exactly,
our alerts were the thing that stopped it from happening, and it may well be it was never going to happen, and the propaganda was just someone saying something stupid. I mean, it's possible.
It could be as simple and as stupid as that.
It's possible. Yeah. I don't really know though. So anyway, is there any way we can? I mean, we probably have to wind up. Is there any way we can end it on a positive note, Rodders? I mean, is there something positive to be taken away from all this? No, I didn't think so.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to pull something positive out of it. Other than, I guess...
Don't be a dick?
Well, don't be a dick's a good philosophy, I think.
I think so. I mean, as we said...
It's the path of least resistance, too.
To be a dick?
No, to not be a dick.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To not be a dick.
But it doesn't always look like it's going to be. That's the problem.
And people sort of gravitate towards cynicism and being a dick a lot of the time. And... it ends up being harder for those people.
Yeah, that's right.
They're kind of inviting their own misfortune or whatever in a bad, you call it bad karma or whatever.
Well, if you envelop yourself in a cloud of negativity,
if you're constantly, projecting
all you're going to see is the cloud.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, it's just going to be a big shit cloud around you.
Yeah, it's just you're going to be covered in a gigantic shit cloud.
Hey,
and then you're going to be looking around and going, "Look, it's all shit." And the cloud will just get bigger.
What's that
and
movie
bigger
where
and bigger.
Randy Quaid says, "Hey, there's a big shit cloud coming"? Was
that the same as... Was it a Norm Macdonald film?
I can't remember whether it was.
No, what was that?
There was a comment about, this is just going to turn into a big cloud of shit.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
There's a great big shit cloud coming. Run for your lives.
Run for your lives.
It was Randy Quaid. I can't remember the movie. We'll have to look
Randy
it up.
Quaid. Yeah, sorry, I don't have that.
We'll put that in the sampler there. That'd be funny.
That's one for the sample bank.
Do you want to play a bit of this Truth Stream Media? We always play Truth. I can't say the name of their channel. I think they need to change it.
Media.
I'm gonna.
You could say
message
it
them.
slower.
Yeah. Truth Stream Media.
Media.
Yeah, there it is.
He said it properly that time.
Yeah. They should call it SodaStream Media. It's much easier to say.
Oh, no. Didn't the Nazis make SodaStream?
I don't know, did they?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea.
They're responsible for SodaStream. I mean,
What's in it then? What's in it? I mean, I used to have that cola flavor.
Strychnine.
Strychnine. Okay, so I've got probably build up to about death, like just one more dose and I'll be gone.
Well, I wouldn't have any more.
Oh no, that's cyanide. Strychnine just kills you instantly, doesn't it? So I've survived it.
Well, you might have built up a level of tolerance to it.
Well, no, I'm immune.
No, I wouldn't say immune.
Well, get me some strychnine. I'll prove it to you.
Well, we'll have to do that.
Yeah, we'll
Next
test it
live
out.
stream.
Yeah. All right, we'll do it live.
Give you some strychnine.
We'll definitely do it live because, yeah, it needs to be live.
Yeah, it needs to be one of those controversial live streaming things.
Yeah. Extreme streaming.
Extreme streaming.
Like we were talking about before.
Yeah, extreme streaming. It could be the pioneers of it.
We should be. Let's forget this whole 1240 thing. This is garbage. Let's do extreme streaming.
Extreme streaming.
That's the future.
It's definitely wave of the future stuff.
Yeah. So just grab a GoPro and jump off a cliff with no parachute and film it.
Are you streaming this?
Oh, wait, the stream hasn't started.
Oh, I think I've done something wrong.
My YouTube settings are all fucked up. So I'll play this Truth Stream Media video because
play us a bit of that, Harvey.
I'm just going to go to a random point, 4:05, and I'm going to play a bit from there because I haven't got it queued up. I apologize for that. I just forgot to do it before we started. With all this technology,
Bullshit.
It's very difficult to get everything coordinated. But we'll get better at it. Shut up, Arnie.
Bullshit.
Shut up, Arnie. Why is he always saying the same things? All right, so I don't know. This will probably be mid-sentence, but this is...
just go for it.
This is a video called 5 Ways Smartphones Are Making Us Dumb.
And they had them do math problems, and they had another group of college students, and they put the smartphone in another room entirely.
The case study.
And the students who had their phone in the other room did significantly better on the test. It was simple math problems. It wasn't hard stuff. But what they also found on the test is that people who had the phone in the room answered that they thought the phone being there had no effect on them.
So she's talking about a study there.
So what's the phone doing? Is it altering the electromagnetic field around people's brains, or what's going on?
I guess that's one theory. I just think it's their attention can't be 100% on the test.
They're thinking about the phone
because they're wondering about the phone, like what could possibly be happening on Facebook.
Well, did it just vibrate?
Yeah,
I heard it vibrate.
Did someone just did the 1240 podcast just start a live stream?
Oh, is that a live streaming notification?
Is it an extreme stream?
Is it an extreme notification?
Is it extreme SodaStream stream?
Oh, I wouldn't keep going down the SodaStream too often.
Well, they're our sponsor.
No, they're not. They are not our sponsor.
Anyway, get your SodaStream at any 7-Eleven or Coles supermarket.
Don't be a SodaStreamer.
A SodaStream streamer.
Yeah. Don't be an extreme SodaStream streamer either.
Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those, the whole cell phone thing. When I started watching this video, right, I thought, oh, could you have a more obvious topic? I mean, yes, people are staring at their phones all the time.
I don't think I got all the 5 things. Do you remember all 5 things that they talked about?
I don't think she actually does a list.
I don't think she actually does 5.
She forgot to do the list. Maybe she's just phrased it that way for clickbait.
Yeah,
because everybody loves lists.
I don't know why people like lists.
Well, because you know how many there are going to be.
People like counting down? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's fun to count down, and you know when you're getting towards the end.
Oh, here's number 1. I better watch it.
Yeah, and number 1 is never the best one.
No.
So, of course, you're going to wait until number 5
so
or whatever
you're
going to
watch from at least 4 to 1, maybe.
Yeah, I got to say, I watch list things sometimes. I try not to because I find it distasteful and, I feel ashamed of myself when I do it. But I do occasionally see a list and go, yeah, I would like to know the top 7 ways that, Tony Stark is training Spider-Man.
Top six things you didn't know about Eminem.
Especially things I didn't know. How do they know I didn't know? But they do.
And somehow they're know you don't know stuff.
They're always right.
And there's a list of them.
The top 10 movies in 2017 you didn't see. Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's this stuff's inside our brains, Harvey. It's inside our brains.
It is.
It's a little, nanoscopic thing gnawing away at our brains and sending a signal off to these, big organisations. And they're just manipulating this via a keyboard.
They know that that title can't possibly be true for everybody.
It's all
but they know
a video game.
They know it'll trigger the curiosity to say, well, how do we know? How do we know that I don't haven't
It's
seen
a
those
triggering
movies?
thing, right?
I bet you I've seen one of those movies. I'll watch the entire video to make sure. And then you give them the view. Give them the view.
You give them the view.
And everybody knows that YouTube pays $1,000 a view.
It's not 1,000, is it?
They're making a mint. $1,000 a view.
I don't think that's accurate.
I'm pretty sure that's it. $1,000 a view.
Are we on $2,000 right now? We got two.
Yeah, we got $2,000. Woo!
2 views.
This is fantastic, isn't it? So yeah. Anyway, the cell phone thing, I thought it was really obvious, but she makes some really good points. One of this that study, which is good that we just happened across that being one of the points. That,
and they said there were simple math problems too. Like they weren't hard.
Yeah,
they were simple, deliberately simple, just to see the turnaround time for answers, I guess.
Yeah,
and the people with cell phones in the room were a lot slower.
Just in the room, like in the corner, not even within reach of them or anything like that, but just knowing it was in the room.
Knowing it was there.
And it's worth clarifying, it's their cell phone. It's not just any cell phone.
No, it's their own.
I think that discredits the frequency stuff. But she does talk about that a bit as well, and it's interesting that people are starting to sleep with their cell phone under their pillow because they use it as an alarm.
Well, there's apps, there's that, and there's apps that actually assess your sleep as well.
Right.
And it says to put it, I think some advise to put under the mattress in the corner.
You mean like the wearables stuff?
No, it's just with a cell phone. You can download an app that assesses your, must use your, audio recorder and microphone in the phone and that to record your breathing and stuff. And
I definitely want to have something record me while I'm sleeping.
Yeah, it's definitely live while you're asleep, and then
absolutely
it tells you, how well you slept when you wake up.
Well, I don't know about that, Rodders. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be downloading that kind of app anytime soon. But yeah, because I know I say some weird things in my sleep. I know I do.
For sure.
In fact, I'm asleep right now.
That's amazing. You look totally lucid to me. He looks totally lucid, doesn't he? He's actually asleep right now.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
I've run out of breath.
Arnie's not convinced you're asleep.
To snore, I have to breathe in. Do you do that when you're doing snore sounds? Do you do it out or in? Has to be in, doesn't it?
Has to be
to make a good snoring sound. Tips for younger players.
Pro tip.
All right, well, I reckon we wind up.
I think that's it. I've had enough.
How long has this been droning on for now?
52 minutes at least.
I
know.
Says
via YouTube. Our stream health is good. I don't know why.
That's good.
I don't know why it ever goes bad.
It looks like it's working really well this week.
It looks better.
Yeah.
Looks better. Good. No one's commented on how it looks, so we don't really know.
No, well, no one's ever watched it. That's why.
No one knows to watch it, I guess.
And you think they would if they knew?
I think some people definitely would.
Yeah, maybe.
The cynics.
Well, just
the cynics would love the chance to be cynical.
It's just important to realize we do this live. We're teleprompter free, just like Alex Jones, just like the alternative media. And
you're right up there with alt media.
Well, I think of us as the alternative media. Who extreme streams.
How many alternates could there be?
Well, anyone who's alternate of us will be the alternate media, I guess. Alternate. But so far, I don't know of anyone.
Just put it. We need something that says that on Echo.
I've got an Echo effect on there, but I'm not going to play around with it now.
We're not going to use the onboard stuff on that. We're not going to cheapen this podcast with those.
Worth noting that we now have the ability to bring in a Skype guest.
Yes.
And we will be doing that at some point. Now, we were going to bring on Kaylin Kavanagh, Lord of the Flick himself, to this week, but unfortunately he had something come up, so he wasn't able to do it. He said maybe next week, so we might be able to do that.
Did he need to take a massive shit or something?
Yeah, he apparently had a really big crap on board.
Right.
And just wouldn't make it through. He knew he wouldn't make it through.
Some of those just clear at least half a day, some of those.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you've really got to put your back into it, and when it comes up. It's all hands on deck, when that happens.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have him come on and talk to us live.
If he survives the shit.
If he survives that.
He's probably still in there now, struggling, grunting.
Massive Grogan. That he is pumping out into the bowl.
And we're in the sewers again. Oh, you should have brought it close to the mic. We probably would have picked it up. All right, wind us up, Rodders. I'm gonna.
All right, well, that's it. That's the 1240 Hangover Cure Podcast, episode 22, all done and dusted for another week. Go to the YouTube, go to the BitChute, go to the Twitter at 1240 Podcast.
Review on iTunes.
Please
5
give stars.
Give us some stars.
Look,
I'll take 2. I'll take 2 stars.
Get us any stars.
A star.
Any fucking stars.
Just give us a star.
On fucking iTunes. We need to move up them charts.
It's worth saying that we're going to try and take this podcast a bit more seriously, make it a bit more professional.
How do we get our existing...
What we would like is if there's anybody who does actually hear this, and I know it's accidental, you probably just came across it.
It's amazing if you're still listening.
And I don't say this just out of self-interest. It's something that as a content creator and knowing a lot of content creators and whatever, I find people very often don't reshare things or don't support things that they like in that way. You don't need to give money to all these things.
What are you asking people to do? You want them to share it?
Well,
if you like it, share
anyone who hears this, it doesn't need to be us, but pick a creator of some kind that you like and introduce that creator to a friend of yours. Whether it's us, whether it's someone else, whether it's Lord of the Flick, whether it's Juice Media, whatever it is, even if they're already popular.
Yeah.
Just help do that little mechanism of spreading good content, because I think at the moment YouTube's doing all the spreading and I don't think they're picking very well. They're just spreading the dumb sort of lowest common denominator stuff. If you find stuff that really speaks to you,
rise above the YouTube algorithms and
exactly, and it's a good use of Facebook.
Make your own. Make your own.
So I just think there should be more of it. Personally, that's what I think. I'm going to make a big effort. I'm actually going to put a budget aside and support some people on Patreon, and I think everybody needs to sort of move in that direction.
Wave of the future.
Yes, wave of the future.
Wave of the future.
Wave of the future.
And that's Harvey
this one.
Waving goodbye.
That's the wave. Yeah. See ya.
We're all done and dusted for another week, and that's it.
Yeah, see you next week.
See you next week. We don't have anything to play on the way out, do we?
Not yet, no.
How's that sound?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'll just stop it then.
Yeah. Stop it.
I haven't stopped streaming though, so...
Oh, we're still streaming.
Do you want to say anything on the stream that we didn't say on the...
We didn't use that sound effect.
We did, week. Just then.
But we have now. Is this on the live stream? No, that's it.
Well, I'd say thanks for watching, but there is actually no one watching.
No one watched. But
thanks for watching it back later, if that's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing, yeah.
And we're going to make an effort to stream this every week, and hopefully we can get the quality a little bit higher as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good now. It's pretty good now, though.
It's better, yeah. So maybe some settings to tweak.
Just shut it off.
Right, shutting it off. Stopping the stream.